Thanks for coming out again. Just wrapping up the Kent game. Certainly proud of our effort there. It was a good football game against, I think, a very good team. The game was back and forth in the first half. They did a nice job on offense. They had us off balance. And I thought one of the real positives of the game was that our offense's ability to go score for score in a game like that. We really haven't shown that ability in the last year, and that was very encouraging. Certainly Matt Johnson's first start, he was very productive, played really well. And the other thing I was really proud of is how many people contributed for us. Sean Joplin had a big game, Chris Gallen, Alex Baer, but also guys like Jared Cohen. Travis Green got into the end zone for the first time. Andre Givens scored a touchdown. And I thought our offensive line played well also. It was just, as the head coach, you love it when a lot of different guys get involved. I love looking at that sheet at the end and seeing so many people touch the ball and contributed. And I really think that helps the locker room and helps morale. That we've had a lot of guys work hard over the summer, and to see those guys get rewarded like that. And then again, I was proud of our defense. We were on our heels in the first half, and I think it shows some degree of mental toughness to bounce back from a half like that. And certainly in the second half, we tweaked a couple of things, but the bottom line is we executed much better. And when you play a league game that early, you like it if you can get it. And so certainly fortunate to be able to go on the road this conference and get a league win. And now we head to Big Ten country and play a very improved Indiana football team. I think they're a much improved team and a much improved program. They have so many starters back, 9 starters back on offense, 6 starters back on defense. Their offense, I believe, was one of the best, if not best, the best in terms of total yardage in the Big Ten a year ago. They've got 2 really good quarterbacks. They've got very good offensive skill. The nature of their offensive scheme is very difficult to defend. They play fast. They snap the ball quickly, and simulating that tempo in practice is always difficult. So we feel we've had a good week against it, but when you see that live and in person for the first time, it's always a challenge. And then defensively, the challenge is a lot different than a week ago. Kent is a very athletic, a very movement-oriented team, a lot of zone pressures. Indiana is kind of how you'd imagine a Big Ten defense. That they're big, they're stout. 3 of their 4 tackles are over 300 pounds. They've got 3 starters returning in the secondary. They're athletic. They have good ball skills. I really like their linebacking core, and they're very, very sound defensively. So again, anytime you step up and go to a BCS AQ conference stadium, it's always a challenge. But it's also a great opportunity for our program. I know our guys are excited, and I'll take any questions.
You mentioned their defense. Were there struggles against Navy? Was that dealing with Navy's scheme, or their struggles, or a combination of the two?
Yeah, John, we really didn't spend hardly any time on the Navy film. Just look at it real quick for personnel, but the nature of what Navy does is so different offensively that whenever you play a team like that, you really end up not even playing your defense, just because the whole nature of option football, the type of blocking, the dive, the quarterback, the pitch, all the different play actions off it. So we did not spend a lot of time on the Navy film. So
did you focus more then on Indiana State or film from last year?
Well, there's also the 12 games from last year. So, I mean, it's, we always take a lot of time on our first 3 opponents. So we have every game that they played last year. And, a lot of the teams that they played marry up with us a lot more philosophically on offense than Navy. So rather than spend a lot of time on the Navy film, we devoted more time to some of the things they did a year ago. And they basically have the same defensive staff.
Do you worry about preparing for facing 3 different quarterbacks? Because you don't really know which one you're going to face.
You don't know, but I mean, the one guy, they both can do both. The one guy runs a lot more, the other guy throws more, and the third guy's a little bit of a balance. So I think that's always the nature of early games, and kid last week played really well, Sept. I can't imagine we're not going to see a lot of him. I mean, he played well and finished the game and played the majority of the game, but the Roberson kid sure is athletic now. He can run and he can make plays with his feet, and so you have to be prepared for both. And they'll probably play both of them, and whoever gets the hot hand, they'll keep with it, and our job is to make sure neither of them gets the hot hand.
So you don't figure that Sudfeld will probably get the nod then, or just prepare for two guys?
Yeah, I mean, they're being somewhat, and you don't blame them. I mean, it doesn't help them to let us know who the quarterback's going to be. But I'm sure they want to play both those guys. But like last week, the one guy played well and started moving the team, and he finished the game. So whether he gets to start this week or not, again, hopefully they switch him the whole game, because that means we're stopping them. If you see one and they stay with one, it's probably because they're having success.
Do you keep the same personnel with the, if they do use two quarterbacks, just have them do what they do?
Come on, you've been here 5 years.
Well, I figured.
You think I'm going to answer that one?
You might answer that. You might say, we're going to prepare for that with a package defense.
How about this? We might have different plans depending on who the quarterback is.
There, see?
We might not.
Is that so hard?
You ask those questions every week, and I give you the same answers every week.
I know, but the
So
people
I guess you
wanna
got to
know.
ask, and
People
I'll
wanna
give
know.
you the coach speak answer.
Okay.
So we might have different plans for both of them, we may not.
It may rain or it may be sunshine.
The only difference is when you're a weatherman, you can be wrong all the time, you still keep your job. Not sportscasters, though. You got to be right.
What would a 3-0 start to win over a Big Ten team mean about the state of BGSU football at this point?
Yeah, I mean, we're 3-0. You try to. You always try to get that one soundbite that people are going to use for a bulletin board. I'm not going there.
Got a high school
We're
kid
2-0, and
yesterday.
our goal is to be 3-0. And I think, I will say this, for the players in our program, anytime that, our players love these games. They love them. They love to be able to go against, a BCS AQ, whether it's a Big Ten or ACC, and whether they want to admit it or not, that a lot of our players didn't get recruited by them, that they were rejected in the recruiting process. And so I think they view games like this as a challenge. And I think we have a number of players on our team that could play in the Big Ten or at a higher level. So they get excited about this challenge. They get excited about the venue. Again, these are fun games, but they're also challenging games because you're going against the Big Ten team. You're going against Big Ten talent. You're going against Big Ten recruits. And so it'll be a great experience for our guys, but it's a great opportunity. So I hope to answer that question on Sunday in the affirmative.
Obviously talking about their quarterback situation earlier with their defense, but obviously there are a ton of other guys on the offense as well. I mean, you guys can score points. They're known to score points. I mean, for a win for you guys this weekend, is it really going to come down to probably your defense as a whole to, stopping them, since your offense is capable of scoring?
It's never that easy. I mean, you can outscore people, or you got to hold people down. And everyone thought the Kent game would be a low-scoring game. And what happened is kind of offenses get in a rhythm and start making plays. And a lot of times games come down to big plays and turnovers. And I think the key last week for us was we made 14 explosive plays. And so we made plays that changed field position. We made plays that converted third downs. And I think a lot of games like this, it comes down to turnovers and it comes down to special teams play. So they have a very good offense. They've scored points against everybody. What they score against Ohio State last year? Was it 47 or
52?
was it 52 or something? That was
52,
a high-scoring game.
Yeah,
So
40-something.
Yeah.
so Ohio State was undefeated, and this group scored close to 50 points or more than 50 points on them, and they got 9 starters back. But, I mean, our defense, I'm sure, is excited of the challenge of going against an offense like that. And it's hard. I mean, the pace of which they run things with, their head coach knows that offense really well. I mean, he was one of the architects of the spread back at Northwestern 15 years ago and ran it very successfully at Oklahoma. And he's he's doing it there. They're very well coached. They know exactly what they're doing. They don't run bad plays. The tempo at which they run things puts a tremendous amount of stress on your defense. When they get going, they snap it so fast they don't let you suck. So we like to roll a lot of guys in there. I mean, we'll play 8, 9 guys up front, and they are very patient. So that if you concede, if you're giving something up, they'll take it for 4 yards. And so they can get on a 13-play drive, and they don't let you suck because of the tempo at which they do things, and that's a challenge on the defense, especially like us that we do like to roll a lot of people in there. I mean, we like to play 18, 19, 20, 21 people on defense every week. So you've got to make some decisions early in a series how you're going to play the series. And their tight ends, I mean, they line them up as a tight end, they line them up as a receiver, they line them up in the backfield. So, and this is, football stuff, but when you can line up in multiple formations from the same personnel group, that makes it really hard to defend. Because when their tight ends on the field, they can line up in a 4-wide set, they can be in a 3-wide set, they can be in a 2-back set. And against most teams, you see the fullback come in, so you can call the defense or call your sub-package based on that fullback being in. With Indiana, it could be the tight end, it could be the fullback, and he's talented enough as a receiver, you got to defend him like a 4-wide. Combine that with their ability to go so fast, it puts a lot of stress on the defense.
Good. I do have one more. Going back to the 3-0 and the hoopla over national rankings and stuff, has it been hard to keep your kids focused to this point?
No, and I've said this before, that a lot of the guys on our football team, the first year they played, we were 2-10. So they know how hard it is to win a football game. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were 2-1 and 3-1 and finished 5-7. So, last week's win doesn't guarantee anything. In this league and with our schedule, you got to work hard every week. It's hard to win football games. And certainly when you play a Big Ten team, you don't have to do that much to catch their attention. So this is it's certainly a goal of ours to beat a BCSAQ team, and we get 2 opportunities this year, and this is the first of the 2.
The ability to play a series 2-for-1 to get Indiana to come here, how big is that for the program, the view of the program?
Well, I hope it's bigger for our fans. I mean, the one thing that when we were out and we talked, that they want to see Big Ten teams come here. And so, we do things like this for a 2-1 for our fan base. We still show pictures of the Minnesota game when it was here, when Boise was here. So we hope people want to buy season ticket packages and fill the stands, and these are games our students want to see. And so if we have to do this twice to get a packed house at the Deloitte, then we'll do it.
And going forward, you're going to go with Johnson at quarterback, and I know you have number 1 on the depth chart.
Yes.
Okay.
Got a question about that. Obviously, he set the bar pretty high in his first start. Is he still kind of are you expecting similar things like that? Is he still a work in progress, or is he, kind of right where you want him to be?
He certainly showed what he's capable of, and I mean, he played really well, but the challenge is doing that every week. Sometimes when you're new, people aren't sure what you do well, what you don't. Now that we've got a film out there on him, we might get to be defended differently. So, the one thing with offense and the defense doing in football is you can be doing something well, but if you just keep doing it over and over again, people are going to catch up with you. So we have to adapt, they have to adapt. Can he handle how they adapt? I mean, I always think for quarterbacks it's best when they play their 3rd year. To me, they have a year to learn what you do, a year of practicing how to apply that to all the different things the defense can do, and you hope by the 3rd year they're ready and they can execute it, because those decisions got to be made, hot reads, the protection, where we want the run play to go, and the clock is ticking with everything a quarterback does. So, I'm sure Indiana will throw some wrinkles at him that he hasn't seen. I think every week it's a new challenge, but he makes plays, and he made a lot of plays last week that helped us win that game. So we're excited about him. And again, he's new to start. He's been in our system 3 years, so he's been running our plays for 3 years, so it's not, he's not a true freshman out there. He's a redshirt sophomore, he's a junior academically, and, he's a good player.
What were your concerns about him, going into the, again, and I'm sure you didn't have any concerns, obviously you got a starting job, but reservations about giving him the reins right off the top, and has he done anything to change those concerns?
When I named Matt Shields the starter, I said that we've had 2 quarterbacks perform in camp better than we ever had a quarterback since Tyler Sheen performed. So it was neck and neck. There was times during the camp I thought Matt Johnson would be our starter. And Matt Shields had a little better week the last week, but it was, from the beginning, we had every intention of playing Matt Johnson. And Matt Johnson had never played in the game. And you always want to see how people handle the games. And he handled Tulsa well, he handled Kent well. And I certainly believe he'll continue to handle game situations well.
I know we talked last week, and again, the question was asked today about it, but when do you think we'll get to the point where he's got the job no matter what? Or will we ever get that?
He's our starting quarterback. Right now, he's our starting quarterback. And I said this when I named Matt Shields, and when you name a starting quarterback, you want those decisions to be permanent.
So it's not a game to game? Okay.
No, Matt Johnson is our starting quarterback. Now, if Matt runs backwards for 80 yards and throws 16 picks, and it's football, it's competitive. I don't see that happening. With how he's performed in practice and how he's performed in games, I don't see that happening. And I'd say this, he probably plays in games even better than he practices, which is a good thing. But it's not there's not one player in our team that can go out there and not perform well again and again and again and still be handed a job. It's just, everything's competitive.